What up, YouTube? T Movies here. Now, I just made a video on my 10 favorite horror movies of all time. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my top 10 worst horror movies of all time. Yeah, I'm a big horror guy. I love good horror movies, but there are horror movies that I find to be absolutely garbage. And these are the 10 that these are the 10 horror movies that I think are terrible and you shouldn't even waste your time with, even if you're a big horror nut like me. But with that being said, here's my 10 worst horror movies of all time. Coming in at number 10, I'm going with a very recent one. The recent one is the Bye Bye Man. Bye Bye Man is garbage. It is shit on a shingle. I'm being more familiar. Like, it's like a very terrible version of Slender Man, which Slender Man is also terrible. But the Bye Bye Man, I mean, it wasn't scary. I mean, it's strange too, because I like the trailer. The trailer that got released for Bye Bye Man was a decent trailer. But the movie was flat out terrible. How did they even get actors like Faye Dunaway in this is beyond me. The acting was horrendous. This movie didn't have any scares, not even great jump scares. This movie just stoinked so badly.
That's scary.
Yeah. Alright, coming in at number 9, it is a film called Nine Lives. Not to be confused with that Kevin Spacey movie, by the way. But, of course, that was terrible too. But, Nine Lives is with, for some reason, they thought that Paris Hilton should act in the movie. That's right, when whoever made Nine Lives had a very vision, like, had a weird imagined thought that, hey, Paris Hilton is famous, she's iconic now, let's put her in the lead in a movie. And that is what we got with Nine Lives. Now, she also had a part in House of Wax, but she got tortured in House of Wax. And she actually was not that bad in that movie, Repo the Genetic Opera. I mean, I quite like Paris Hilton in Repo. But, of course, Paris Hilton's best role is the tape, but that's the topic of another. Anyway, I mean, this is like putting Kim Kardashian in a horror film. I mean, people like Paris Hilton should, I mean, I guess horror, you don't really need best acting. But Nine Lives was just terrible. I mean, it's about this guy named Tim who decides to spend his 21st birthday at this guy's mansion with a bunch of college friends. And so he ends up inviting his former roommate named Pete, played by David Nicole, and Pete's ex girl named Amanda Warner, and several other friends, one of which is named Paris Hilton. And then to like this mansion, and then there's like a killer on the loose, and they gotta try to find a way to kill it. I mean, the acting is horrible, especially the acting by Paris Hilton, because we know Paris Hilton is not a good actress at all. Let's be for real. But this movie wasn't scary. It was just horrible. This movie just sucked. And thankfully, we haven't seen Paris Hilton act in a movie lately since. So, I mean, since then, of course, she was in a few other stuff. But, yeah. I mean, have you ever really seen Paris Hilton in any other movies in recent years? There's a reason for that. But, yeah, Nine Lives was flat out horrible. Alright, coming in at number 8, it is Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. The original Blair Witch Project it's a horror classic. I mean, the original Blair Witch is great. It's creepy. It really gave us the found footage genre. It's great. But the sequel that came after Blair Witch, Book of Shadows, which is directed by Joe Berlinger, who also just directed that Ted Bundy film with Zac Efron. This movie sucked. It wasn't scary. It was horrendous. I mean, the acting was horrible. How the heck they got poor Jeffrey Donovan in this is beyond me. This movie it blew. And I mean, this time there was like talks about like vampires and all. And I mean, to be honest, I can't even tell you much about the film because I've seen it and I still don't even too much words about. I mean, it's just terrible. Although the 2016 one was actually not all that bad, but still wasn't all that good. Uh, Alright, coming in at number 7, it is House of the Dead. Now, this is directed by Obo, who is one of the horrendous filmmakers there is. Obo, I got a couple of Obo movies in this list, by the way. But House of the Dead is actually based on a video game where this guy, these two guys named Simon and Greg, who ends up being these friends and set out to attend this rave on a remote island. And so they meet this guy named Kirk, played by Jurgen Prochnow, and who's like a smuggler, and they find pretty much
Legit, dude.
and anyway and they pretty much of course find there's party goers who are killing zombies. Of course these zombies are killing the party goers one by one. I mean, House of the Dead is horrendous. It's one of the worst zombie movies there is. The zombie movie with Janet Jameson is much better than the zombie film than this piece of crap was. And it is Obo, so yeah, that's not really saying much. But this movie is a horrendous, steaming pile of zombie food. I mean, it makes The Walking Dead look like Oscar winners, so yeah. Alright, coming in at number 6, it is Leprechaun 4 in space. Leprechaun went through so many stuff. Leprechaun fought off Jennifer Aniston, he fought off a princess, he fought off Ice-T, he went in the hood, but now he ended up going in space. And I quite like Back to the Hood, by the way. But Leprechaun, the one with Ice-T in it, no. Leprechaun 4, on the other hand, it is, I mean, I quite like Jason X more than this crap, but, yeah, Leprechaun 4 in space is horrendous. They got poor Warwick Davis to return as Leprechaun for this. I mean, you've got Rebecca Carlton as his princess, and they decide to go in outer space, and so you got Leprechaun on board on these spaceship. I mean, yeah, it's always bad when a character goes in space. I mean, they're thinking about bringing Machete to space. Now they had Leprechaun, they had Jason in space. Yeah, I mean, even Vin Diesel wants to bring Fast and Furious into space. Yeah. But Leprechaun 4 is the worst out of the Leprechaun movies. I mean, that's not saying much because the Leprechaun movies hasn't always been the best, but it is the worst. I mean, yeah, you don't need to bother watching Leprechaun 4.
This guy was a really strong guy.
Alright. Coming in at number 5, Obo is a lucky guy. Number 5, Obo is on this list again. Number 5, it is Alone in the Dark, which is also based on a video game. Alone in the Dark just plain old sucks. It is horrendous. This movie is scary. Almost all of it is really set in the dark. You can't even barely see much in the movie. You even got, some reason they were able to get Christian Slater in this. Tara Reid, shows outside of American Pie fame that her career has been downhill. This is another Obo terrible film. Obo is one of I already said this, he is one of the worst filmmakers there is. This guy is a horrendous director. And he's made some really preposterous, crazy, dumb, horrible movies. And Alone in the Dark is one of them. Yeah, don't watch this Alone in the Dark. Don't watch this at all. It's just, oh God, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Alright, coming in at number 4, it is Halloween, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Now, how do you... Oh, wait. Did I- Oh, number 4 is Halloween Season of the Witch. I think I accidentally called it Project. But Halloween Season of the Witch is, to me, it's the worst Halloween movie. How do you have a Halloween movie without Michael Myers? I mean, this movie is ferocious. Like, it made you, like, it's horrible. The acting in this isn't great. I mean, aside from Tom Atkins, because Tom Atkins is always great. I mean, this movie wasn't even scary. At times it gets pretty annoying once in a while. Of course, this movie introduced me to that Sandman song. Mr. Sandman. Do, 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 do. Yeah.
So what time?
But yeah, Home Alone. Halloween. I'm interested. Why did I have Home Alone in my mind for some reason? Halloween Season of the Witch it's the worst out of the Halloween movies. Like, I'm actually surprised there's actually people who like Halloween 3. Like, I mean, it did get great reviews, but there's actually people who really got a kick out of Halloween 3, which is cool. I mean, films are subjective and all. I didn't like Halloween 3 at all. And yeah, I love the Halloween franchise too, but alright. Coming in at number 3, it is The Wicker Man, a remake of the 1970s horror film. This was directed by Neil LaBute, starring Nick Cage. This movie is boring. It's not at all scary. It's probably the worst horror remake there is, and I actually like the remakes of Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Do me. But this is the worst horror remake ever. I mean, this movie is just flat out terrible. It's bland. Nick Cage's worst performance ever. I mean, if you ever want to see Nick Cage with bees, this is definitely one for you. But yeah, Wicker Man is flat out horrible. I mean, yeah. Alright, coming in at number 2, it is Trolls 2. Now, the first Trolls is a guilty pleasure. I get a kick out of the original Trolls, which was actually the earliest movie of Leo DiCaprio, by the way. But Trolls 2, on the other hand, I mean, the movie actually has 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. But Trolls 2 is horrible. I mean, of course, you got, like, these... I mean, this movie is actually... I mean, it became a cult classic, and it's even in this documentary called Best Movie, Worst Movie, which is actually a really good documentary, by the way. But Trolls 2 is it's the worst horror sequel there is. It's horrible, horrendous, boring, not scary, it's just dumb, horrible acting. Yeah, Trolls 2 is not a good movie at all. I mean, it is the Room of horror movies. So, yeah. No, actually, even the Room is even better than this, but that doesn't say much. Alright. The worst horror movie of all time, in my opinion, number 1 goes to Jaws, The Revenge. Alright, Jaws, The Revenge. I mean, the original Jaws, directed by Spielberg and all, is a classic. Jaws 2, I quite get a kick out of as well. But for some reason, they thought it was a good idea to bring sequels into it. And they really, like, the original Jaws was like Sharknado and shit. But man, Jaws the Revenge, I mean, great cast too. Like, how did you get a great cast like this involved with this? Like, you got Lorraine Gray, you got Lance Guest, Michael Caine was in this, you got Lil Ducky herself, Judith Fossey was in this, Mario Van Peebles, Melvin Van Peebles. I mean, holy cow, this movie was. You know, the original Jaws is fun. It's a classic, one of the most iconic horror movies there is, one of the most suspenseful horror movies there is. But they did a couple of sequels like this, and the one with Dennis Quaid, the 3D one, that was terrible too. I'm glad they stopped with Jaws. Like, Back to the Future 2, they had like a very, remember Back to the Future 2, there was a Jaws 19? Glad we didn't get a Jaws 19. That would have been horrible. But Jaws Revenge, between 3D and Revenge, Jaws Revenge is the worst. It's the worst horror movie ever made. Worst shark movie there is. And Yeah, this movie just plain old sucks. I mean, thankfully, poor Judith Barcy had Land Before Time to back her up, and All Doors Go to Heaven. But this, yeah, not that much of a good film. But that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. Alright. 10, Bye Bye Man. 9, Nine Lives. 8, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. 7, House of the Dead. 6, Leprechaun 4 in Space. 5, Alone in the Dark. 4, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. 3, The Wicker Man. 2, Trolls 2. 1, Jaws the Revenge. There's also some other ones I probably could have added, like Slender Man. That was actually, maybe I'll redo this list and add Slender Man. I mean, Slender Man was horrendous. Let's see. Friday the 13th, the final chapter, that was pretty terrible. Most recent, I probably could have added Countdown, which is the recent one. That was horrible. There's loads of other ones I probably could have added. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go through a whole list because my computer's about to die. But, yeah, 36%, so I'll just end it off there. But, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite horror movie? What are some of your worst horror movies of all time? My bad. What are some of your favorite worst horror movies ever? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Team Movies signing off.